What spread out in front of me when it opened was an image of hell in black and white. In the whirling plumes of snow, countless snowflakes were madly racing past each other. As I thought, the sparkling particles of light I had seen through the window earlier were indeed crystals of snow. But I had no idea that it was coming down this hard. All that was reflected in my eyes were the countless white particles and the darkness between them. It was already impossible to see anything more than a few meters away. The harsh, freezing wind felt as if it would blow through me. My cheeks and neck felt as though they were being cut by countless shards of glass. It became impossible to breathe. The chilly air was so intense that I could feel my lungs and trachea choking on it as it made its way through them. I felt that if I stayed here for even 3 seconds more, I would surely die. I'm pretty sure that wasn't even an exaggeration. Panic-stricken, I turned and started back toward the building. It was nice and warm inside. It was the kind of warmth that a human could survive in. I breathed a sigh of relief. The thundering roar of the wind was so loud that it could be clearly heard even indoors. I hadn't noticed the sound of it until now, but that's probably because my mind had been preoccupied with other things. Anyway, I doubt anyone could be outside in this kind of weather. Except for the truly curious and adventurous, there's just no way anyone would venture out in the middle of that snowstorm. Now that I'd caught my breath, I decided to explore the other parts of the facility. Maybe I should look downstairs next. I went down the staircase beside the kitchen. Apparently, this place is being used as a storeroom. There are provisions, fuel, medical supplies, miscellaneous daily supplies, all sorts of equipment and so on, evenly spread and neatly placed on the shelves. There's a bare pipe stretched across the ceiling. There wasn't a single window in the concrete walls. A basement, huh? If this is the basement, then that would mean the floor I was just on was the first floor. But then again, the door leading outside should have made that obvious. I heard a sound like a groan coming from somewhere. A low, mechanical tone that shook me to my core. I didn't know where the sound was. Ignoring it for now, I slid into the spaces between the shelves, as if weaving myself through a crowded rush hour. It was about as wide as the floor above. There weren't any places I could call interesting, and I didn't think anyone could be hiding anywhere around here. Wait. I heard a faint sound. It sounded like a small animal running around. Perhaps a rat that had settled in here. When it comes to rats, I wouldn't say I can't handle rats. However, I had no interest in looking for one so I could capture it. I returned to the first floor. But before I could finish climbing the stairs, I felt someone's presence. As I glanced out from the kitchen, I saw the figure of a girl sitting silently in a dining chair. The girl had her head bowed. I couldn't make out her face from here, but I was pretty certain it wasn't the brown-skinned woman I'd met earlier. I tried to loosen up. Excuse me. Calling out, I approached her. There's something I'd like to ask you. The girl showed no reaction. She merely sat there without moving a muscle, as if she had been carefully placed there by someone, like a figure at a wax museum. I'm sorry, are you listening? I stood right beside her and bent down to take a look at her face. I gasped sharply and jumped back. I dashed back to where the stairs were. Misstepping, my foot slipped. I gripped the handrail for a moment to regain my balance. My other hand was already covering my mouth. If not for that, I think I surely would have screamed. That's impossible. Why? Why was that girl in a place like this? She turned as delicately as a ballerina to face me. There's no mistake. The girl in front of me was unmistakably her. That girl who had murdered 12 innocent people in a hospital in Awazumi City. Inubushi Keiko. There's no way I could possibly forget that face. As if to say hello, Inubushi slightly nodded her head. I awkwardly returned a nod. I have to say something. I knew exactly how I felt, but it seemed as if I had completely forgotten how to speak out loud. Such situations are often attributed to a lump in the throat, or the lips becoming too dry. But this was different. I had literally forgotten how to utter a word. In front of my eyes was the murderous monster, the serial killer who had single-handedly rewritten the definition of crime in Japan. I felt that if I were to let my guard down for even a moment, I could easily become the 13th victim. My heart was pounding hard, and my skin was tingling as if an electric current were running through it. The awkward silence continues. Inubushi kept staring at me expressionlessly. Her face was devoid of any emotion. It was hard to tell if she was thinking anything at all. I tried to hide my panic behind a calm smile. I don't think I was much good at it. Both my cheeks became stiff like plaster. Then, the girl returned the smile. It was a very natural, sincere smile. I thought it was safe to let my guard down a bit. Of course, not as far as to let her read me like a book. But after seeing such a gentle smile, there's really little I could do. Although my reasoning was trying hard to build up a strong, impenetrable wall, my instinctive curiosity took the best out of me. I was climbing the protective wall and taking a step forward into danger. Inubushi-san. You're Inubushi Keiko-san, right? My voice quivered and gave away my nervousness. The girl stayed silent, as if she didn't understand what I had just said. Inubushi-san, right? I asked the same question again, but the girl just tilted her head. It couldn't be a different person. No, that's impossible. She looks exactly like the girl from the photo in the file. How should I say this? You were the one behind the incident at Awazumi. Right? Or am I wrong? She looked as if she was lost in thought, but then shook her head gently. You're lying, right? I know all about it, okay? The truth is, I did some research regarding the incident. As if trying to gauge her reaction, I slowly stuttered through that sentence. But Inubushi Keiko just kept looking at me with her mouth shut. She didn't even look the least bit flustered.